Welcome back, friends, to Remix Moments with Martine, where we remix your mindset one moment at a time. Today, let's talk about something that holds way too many of us back, and it's the fear of failure. And I touched on this in a previous episode, but I really wanted to dive into this because I know that there are many of you like me who have struggled with this. So, have you ever felt like a failure? I know the answer is probably yes. Maybe you started something and it didn't work, or you put yourself out there and it flopped, or you convinced yourself that maybe you're just not cut out for this. Now, let me ask you, have you ever burned dinner or messed up a new recipe? Yes. Ever had a rough day with your kids where nothing seemed to go right? Ever felt like we're failing at balancing it all? Business, mom life, personal goals, like you're just failing at all of it. And here's the thing, we all have. And the truth is, one bad moment doesn't mean you're a bad mom or a bad business owner or that you aren't capable. Failure is not who you are, it's just something that happens. And yet we've been conditioned to see failure as a personal weakness instead of an essential part of learning and growth. So today I'm going to help you reframe failure so that instead of seeing it as something to avoid, you see it as a stepping stone to success in motherhood and in business. Because if you're willing to feel anything, you will be willing to do anything. Welcome to Remix Moments with Martine, where we will remix your mindset one moment at a time. I'm your host, Martine Williams, and I'm here to bring you a quick burst of inspiration, insight, and a fresh spin on your mompreneur journey. In just a few minutes, we'll remix your mindset, energize your day, and keep you moving forward with purpose. Let's dive in to today's moment. So, why do we fear failure? And how is it holding you back? Well, we know that 70% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their careers. That means even the most successful people that you look up to have questioned if they're really good enough, including yours truly. So why do we fear failure? Well, number one, social conditioning. Think about it. From a young age, we were graded on our performance. We were rewarded for getting things right and corrected when we made mistakes. This conditions us to fear being wrong rather than embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Another reason is emotional attachment. Failure often feels personal, right? Can I get an amen to that? It's like it's a reflection of our intelligence, our ability, or worth. And we tie our self-esteem to success, and we feel shame when things don't go as planned. And then another reason is survival instinct. Like psychologists say that our fear of failure is rooted in survival. Our brains are wired to avoid risks that could lead to rejection, embarrassment, or loss of status. But here's the truth. Failure is necessary for success. And the only way to grow is to do things you've never done before, right? That means sometimes falling short, which is why I'll say it again. If we're willing to feel anything, AKA failure, feel the failure, feel the disappointment, feel the rejection, feel the embarrassment, feel the loss, then we'll be willing to do anything. And that will keep us moving forward. So I want to talk about 3 mindset shifts to reframe failure and keep moving forward. The first one is failure is data, not a definition. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that failing at something means we are failures. But failure isn't a definition of who you are. It's not what God says about you. It's probably not what your friends say about you. Failure is simply data. It's feedback. It's information that helps you course correct, right? If we don't know where something is broken, we can't fix it. That's feedback. That's data. That's information. Think about the first time you tried to maybe sleep train your baby. Now, that was years ago for me, but I know some of you are new moms. Or the first time you introduced a new food and it ended up all over the floor. Did you say, well, I guess I'm just a terrible mom. I'm never going to figure this out. Especially if you're even breastfeeding. I remember how hard that was. But I was so committed to that for my boys that I didn't let that failure creep in. And you probably didn't either. So you probably just tweaked your approach, right? You adjusted your strategy and you tried again. I know that's what I did when it came to that. Motherhood is full of trial and error. No one births a baby and like instantly knows what to do as a mom. And what if you treated your business the same way? So instead of like, I failed at launching my business, you could say, I just found a strategy that didn't work. Another thought maybe my product didn't sell. Well, this means I need to refine my offer or messaging. Like what did I not say? That's something that I think about myself when I'm launching a product or I'm talking about my services and maybe it didn't go as planned. Like I take responsibility. I'm like, what did I not say that they needed to hear? It's a mindset shift. What if it's like the collaboration didn't go as planned? Well, you could say, now I know what I need in a better partnership, right? Now I know who to better collaborate with. So failure isn't final, it's feedback. So I want you to ask yourself, what is this failure teaching me? What is the next best step? Hey friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure. It's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
Working with Martine helped my confidence in starting and growing a new business. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't quite sure how to accomplish it. Martine helped me work through my ideas based on the results of my ProScan, and having weekly calls really helped me stay focused and working toward my goal. I highly recommend working with Martine for those who want to grow their business or who are just getting started. Having that focused time to work and work together is priceless.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martinewilliams.com with 3 times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show. A second thing that I want you to think about is to separate your identity from your outcome. And this one is huge. I see this among mompreneurs. A major reason people stay stuck after failure is because they take it personally. When something doesn't work, they don't just say that didn't work. They say, I'm not good enough. You probably said it before I even finished that sentence. But failure is an event. It's not an identity. Failure is an event, friends. It's not an identity. So have you ever tried or ever had a day where you lost your patience with your kids? Again, you're all laughing when you hear me ask that question, but maybe you snapped at them. You felt terrible and thought, I'm such a bad mom. I was sharing with one of my clients the other day, one of my experiences with one of my boys, and I will never forget it because I remember that moment of snapping and I remember the look on their faces. But one bad day doesn't define your entire motherhood journey, does it? We all have bad days. So it just means you had a hard moment. It doesn't mean that you aren't loving, that you aren't capable, that you aren't the mom that is best for your child. It just means you had a hard moment. And it's the same in business. Like one failed launch, one slow month, one mistake doesn't mean you're not capable of success. Listen, I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years. And if I quit every time I failed, or if I had a belief that I was not capable every time I failed, like I would not still be here because I have failed a lot. So what happened is not who you are. One setback doesn't define your success. Your setbacks sometimes give you that opportunity to regroup, recalibrate, realign, and then move forward. So are you defining yourself by this one moment or by the person you're becoming through the failures, through the mistakes, through the rejection? Because here's the third point I want to make. Failure is a prerequisite for growth. Failure isn't just part of success, it's the price of admission. I'll say that again. Failure isn't just a part of success, y'all. It's the price of admission. And the more willing, I don't know why I say wheeling. The more willing you are to fail, the faster you grow. I want you to remember the first time you let your child try something new, or when you watch a toddler or a baby start learning to walk. So they're taking their first steps and they fall, right? They fall a lot. Do you stop them after their first fall and say, well, I guess you're never going to walk, or you're so stupid, you should just know how to walk? You would never say that. Of course not. You would let them get back up. You would pick them back up most likely and try again because that's how they learn. So can you treat yourself with that same kindness, that same motivation, that same determined mindset and mindset shift of I'm going to get back up, I'm going to pick myself back up, and I'm going to try again. Because as adults, we are so quick to quit on ourselves after the first stumble because it doesn't feel good, right? It does not feel good to fail. But if you can have a mindset shift that I'm failing forward, that I just figured out a way that it didn't work, I'm going through the land of no to get to my yes. Like those are all intentional thoughts that I have that create forward motion versus sitting down and playing small. So a study in the Psychological Science Journal found that people who take risks and fail multiple times develop more problem-solving skills and resilience than those who avoid failure. So think about that. You become more resilient. The more times you fail, the more times you get back up, the more times something doesn't work, it creates an opportunity for you to try something different, to problem solve. If you've never failed, it means you probably are playing too small. Someone needed to hear that. God has bigger plans for you. He has bigger dreams for you, bigger impacts for you. So if you're not failing, are you even trying? Are you playing too small? Sarah Blakely, I mentioned her in a previous episode too, the billionaire founder of Spanx. Thank goodness for her, and that she didn't stop at the first failure. She shares that her dad would ask her every week at the dinner table, what did you fail at this week? I love this question. I wish I would have thought of that question or heard this story when I was raising my boys. Because if she didn't have an answer, he'd say, then you're not trying enough new things. And that mindset made her fearless in business. She was willing to hear no 1,000 times to get a single yes. So the real question is, are you avoiding failure, or are you using it as a tool to stretch, grow, and get better? So here's a little reframe for you. If you're failing, you're growing. The only real failure is quitting. You've heard me say this before. I'm either getting the result that I want or the lesson that I need. That is the way I reframe failure for me. And you can borrow that one if you want, or you can just say, if I'm failing, I'm growing. It's a choice. Every single one of you has a choice to believe every sentence your brain is offering up to you, or to be intentional about the thoughts that you're thinking to create a different result for yourself. So I want you to be honest. Are you playing small to avoid failure? No, again, not from a judgmental or shame, but I just want you to be really honest and self-aware. Are you playing small to avoid failure? I have done that, even most recently. Or are you willing to grow through the hard stuff? So I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not a failure. You are a woman, a mom, an entrepreneur who is learning, growing, and stepping into something bigger. And you get to define what bigger is for you. It's different for all of us. Failure is just an event, friends. It's not a reflection of your worth. And the only way to truly fail is to give up. Your next success is waiting on the other side of this challenge. This could be a personal challenge. This could be a relationship challenge. This could be a business challenge, but your next success is waiting on the other side of this challenge. And what doesn't challenge us, or what is that quote? I'm totally gonna butcher it. What doesn't challenge us doesn't change us. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you go through a challenge, it creates opportunity for growth, and it does change you. It changes your ability to come back from a setback. It changes your faith. It makes your faith stronger when you go through challenges, and you really have to lean into your faith and lean into God's word. And like, that's what you're really, really banking on over everything else, your success is on the other side of that. So I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to stand back, reflect. What did you learn? What could you do differently? And then go again. Because this will make you unstoppable. You are an amazing woman, gifted by God to do great things. And in doing those great things, there are going to be roadblocks and there are going to be challenges and there are going to be speed bumps. And some of you need a speed bump right now because you're moving so fast that you're burning yourself out. You're not even sure why you're hustling as hard as you're hustling. And sometimes we have those failure events because we're moving so fast and we haven't clearly defined what our priorities are. We haven't clearly defined what is it that God is calling me to. So that could be a whole other episode, but you've got this. You're an amazing woman gifted by God to do great things. Believe that and keep going. And you know that I'm believing in you always. And if you want some help with this, if you want to just sit down for an hour and talk with someone who can help you to gain some clarity around maybe your thoughts on failure, maybe again, like where you are in your failure and where you want to go and how you're going to get there, this is what my clarity call is for. It's completely free. It's 1 hour. You and me. I highly recommend and suggest you go and book that call. You can go to martinewilliams.com or you can go look in the show notes. We have a link there for you too. But don't wait, friend. Do this now. Do this for you now. It could be just the next step to help you to move forward. Well, that's it, friends, for this remix moment. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me, and I hope that you are feeling inspired and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Remember, even small moments can lead to big changes. If this moment made a difference, be sure to subscribe, share with your fellow moms, and leave me a quick review. Seriously, it means the world to me to hear from you. And until next time, I am believing in you, and I will catch you in the next moment.